going to be a small little victory for my side. I'm slowly phasing into the point in time where I can be a part of Ares. It sounds weird.
Wow, this is so weird.
Got in store for us. The question is, will Todak make this into a clean sweep without even needing to go over to the late games to allow Alice to go online? Or will Nightmare actually draw this out against Todak? That is a question that we need an answer to, and this is the game where we will find out more. Onwards, of course, thank you to Ares as well as Jace. Let us take a look. Game number 2, match number 3.
The portals will open, ladies and gentlemen, onto the battlefield we go. Nightmare, nothing to lose. This is the last game, or potentially the last game if they want to give us an upset. Todak, on the other hand, feeling very comfortable. Snap picking, snap banning very quickly. In fact, I felt like Nightmare is taking a little bit aback on the speed of how Todak. It feels like Todak has already been through this way too many times, and their experience is starting to show.
And you're talking about, one of the MPLMY favorites. Yes, they are the runner, but remember, they push RGMY super far into the grand finals. And now here we see Moy playing on this tank Cho, just disturbing Nano Chip as much as possible. But so Flume, off cooldown, they can't pick the kill onto that Cho.
Yeah, so Moy will be able to slip on away. That is a very slippery Cho all the time. Now, bottom side, Harif is going to have a very good time against this Alice, which is on control of Formies. But at the top side, the same could be said for Momo against the Barats. The Barats is not a very lean, mean Barats as of now. It's not a very big, chunky boy as of now, but Momo will attempt this turret dive, and he will give a 1-for-1 trade over to Nightmare Esports.
But first blood for the Benedetta. On top of that, he also denies 1 EXP wave. So that is a huge win for Momo, because he's gonna go into the top lane alongside with Jasmine, who's only at level 2. Momo is already level 3. And Todak, I think they can scale this really well. Remember, no invades coming up from Nightmare Esports. Can't be said for the same for Todak. You can see Moy already dodging all those, just sidestepping, right? Just simple casual sidestepping away from those Death Sonata.
He is just shuffling right on away, just predicting beforehand. It feels like the Sharingan has been activated for our Cho player. We'll be able to dodge our Death Sonata coming out from Lin Lakes. However, no Death Sonata will be available for Nightmare Esports though, because they do need this if they want to push Todak away. Chico coming in with the Blazing Duet, also coming in to knock down, but it is Nightmare Esports who is able to actually take away the turtle instead. And now Todak on full retreat. Chico doesn't have enough damage. Moy doesn't have the flicker anymore, but not enough damage to basically secure that kill. Now Momo will coming in for a little bit of a revenge damage, but Jasmine will slip on by.
Yeah, the Barats is just so tanky despite being on the back foot early game against this Benedetta. Meanwhile, Nano Ship back to babysitting duties on top of BZ on this Harif. Nightmare Esports, like, I'm trying to think of the late game plan here, right? If it really drags to the late game, this branch is gonna fall off. But at the same time, Todak, the Alice as well as Chico on this Claude, it's just gonna be monstrous.
Yep. Nightmare Esports is basically hugging a time bomb right now. Don't forget, Nightmare Esports, the Kaja will also fall off. Kaja have this very awkward mid-game spike where he's super powerful, and then after that suddenly he will fall off once he hits a little bit towards the late game, because he's gonna have to sacrifice his life to jump in, flicker in, and pull someone all the way back. But this could be potential pick-off if Nightmare Esports was to use it correctly.
Yeah, he's more of like a team enabler, right? Just to pick someone out, make it a 5v4. But meanwhile, top lane, Jasmine doing a very good job with the so-called teamwork, just to get more stacks. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Moon in a lot of trouble. Real world manipulation will come up, but it's not enough. BZ's just shred him to pieces. Formish trying to stick right on top. He's going to use the flicker as well. Kaja will fall, but BZ might be able to punish Todak if he's a bit too aggressive. No, he's not going to go for it. Lilings, meanwhile, at the top lane, will get the kill onto Chiku. and Momo unfortunately will have to run the tails between his legs.
Todak is really stretching the heroes that they have to like a jam, but at the same time, to power the tiger, the ultimate coming out from Cho will be able to kick Busy down, but Nanoship comes in, will be able to spot Moy out, but no ultimate coming out from Nanoship, so he should be alive, but a Ring of Punishment will be able to take him downtown for the time being. But, you know, Chiku going down the top side, not a good idea. Now, Todak is going to take a little bit longer time to basically come online. And now with the turtle spawning at the bottom side, the members Nightmare Esports is already congregating. You can see how Nanoship is already in position. Fine Judgment is up. The ultimates are up for both sides. And we shall see. It is going to be Nightmare Esports who will take this initiative on the turtle.
Yeah, Ring of Punishment, such an apt name, right? Yeah. Punishing the Cho for diving a little bit too deep. But like you said, Nightmare Esports can secure the turtle pretty comfortably. Jasmine gonna be face checking for the bush. Use the Daytona's welcome a little bit too prematurely. Cancel it as well as he has to rotate on the top side. That bought a little bit of time for Chiku to split push. Like Chiku, to me, got a bit too busy in the early game. He needs the Demon Hunter sword before he comes online. He needs the golden stuff before we start to see a lot more impact from this Claude.
Yep, the first item power spike for Moon has come up. He needs the Ice Queen 1 in order to basically make sure that he spreads all that slow all across Nightmare Esports' team. Now, Chiku will burn off the Blazing Duet just to wave clear, but it will push his levels up a bit more because he does have a lot of gold and experience gap to catch up against Linlix. Now Todak is actually setting it up for the mid lane push right now. Hormis rotates to the mid lane as well. So and Jasmine in the corner, but you can see how Nanoship is making sure that Momo doesn't stay calm over. Nightmare Esports mid lane will take a bit more damage, whereas Nightmare Esports will also take down bottom side. Now she could force to use the Blazing Duel. You can see the damage coming out from Soul Blue, but thank God for Moon landing down the real world manipulation will be able to zone Nightmare Esports away.
Yeah, meanwhile onto Todak's jungle. Momo once again coming through with the banner. That's a flashy plays coming in. Formace taking 1 too many damage. The Divine Judgment does drag Formace back into the fight, but at the same time, it is going to be a pick off from Linux. Todak's draft now starting to look very scary. Initially, we thought that, you know, that was a bit of a small win for Nightmare Esports, right? Managing to push Chiku back and on burning with the real manipulation. But the scary thing for Todak is that you take down one member, you still have 4 more to burn through. Every single one of them performing at the top of the game, and that is what Todak is about. We talk about Malaysian teams having the camaraderie, having the brotherhood, and I can see Momo staying true to that, just carrying the team when Chiku needs time.
Yep, you can see how Chiku, right? He not only is starting to farm his own jungle, he's already starting to farm lanes. You can see the sudden boost in terms of the XP going in. Chiku manages to catch up, even overtake Linux in terms of the XP. Linux is too busy walking around trying to look for kills, but here comes Momo and the real world manipulation as well. Nanoship will get stunned, but it is Jasmine going to be soloing out and spitting out Momo. He will go down, the Blazing Duet. Not enough damage, unfortunately. Sosa will be able to pick it out, but before that, the Blazing Duet damage does land true. Will be a lot of trade back and forth, a bit of inefficiency coming in. However, that will equalize the goal count for both these teams.
Yeah, I love how Nightmare Esports is sharing the buffs between BZ and Lilex, right? Giving the red buff to the Granger, giving the blue buff, or rather the purple buff onto the Harif, because he needs those mana and the cooldown reduction. Now, Nightmare Esports, let's take a look at the build, right? You've got Harif that's already building towards the Holy Crystal. I would have preferred if you went for the Air Blade just for the additional cooldown reduction, even if it's just a bit.
And it's going to be a slow mid game this time around. Nightmare Esports still going to scale in terms of that goal right now for the time being, but they're just tossing bodies in the mid lane, right? They want to prevent Todak from basically pushing in. Chiku is starting to farm lanes. This is actually a very crucial point for a Claude. If you start to leave the jungle and start to wave clear, or basically jungle clear faster than anyone else, he's gonna out-rotate you. And take a look at the levels. It's almost equal. Jasmine will be able to swallow Momo up, but Momo has already done the damage. BZ will take down Moy out of position right there. Chiku using the Blazing Duel. He will get Mathilda all the way right in. Chiku will get taken down by Soul as Linux is just too much damage for Fourmaze to handle. He has to get on away. Turns around just for a little bit of hit. Now Moon is the next target. This is a Neve, not a Farsa. He doesn't really have any form of escape mechanism. He will get chased. The flicker at the very last minute. Soso will respond in the time. He will be taken out of the board.
Yeah, Nightmare Esports now playing that Todak game. You want to run at us? Let's do the same thing in game 2.
Yeah,
I'm going to
man.
run back at you, and now Blomo will have to try to buy more time for this club. Now, the issue for Nightmare Esports, I feel, early game was that they had to stick together in
right.
order to win team fights. Todak, on the other hand, not so much, right? Momo, very independent. Benedetta, you got Soso, that's having a bit of trouble mid lane, but here we go. Soso using the guiding wind to provide a little bit more sustain. BZ coming into the rescue of his support. But coming back to the point, Todak. They have so many split pushers available. You have Fourmaze, Chiku, Momo, more into some sort as a Cho also can act as a split push.
Yep, and don't forget Todak just picked up a golden staff as well. He's going to amplify his damage exponentially. Even though, yes, in terms of death score, Chiku is a little bit behind, but take a look at the player gold. He's still not falling behind due to the fact that he's already started to absorb all those lane minions coming in. So he's going to be a little bit more buffed up in terms of the gold, and of course that will translate into damage. Now Fourmaze, he's unfazed. He's just trying to desperate push that in. Now Todak will start this Lord, but Busy is off the position right now. That means that Momo will try to jump on in. So lanes with the Death Sonata will be able to find more. It connects. Chico coming in, but Jasmine will be there. Momo is already here as well. Fourmaze coming in for the flank though. The real world manipulation will make sure that Link stays down. The stacking of the stun make sure that the Granger has nowhere to go. Busy coming in with the Chrono Dash. Chrono Fission will be able to snipe down Chico for the time being, but Fourmaze is still here. He's still alive. The Sosa will get immobilized though as Fourmaze just absorb all this blood away from him, and he's not going to change. You can see how the discipline coming up from Todak is making sure that they're not bloodthirsty. They know they're going to scale the late game, and they want to go there.
Nightmare Esports and Todak, they're going to take 3 each apiece, and Nightmare Esports now looking at the damage now. Claude's damage looks very, very impressive, but you gotta remember, Claude's just solo farming, whereas if you look over on side of Nightmare Esports, 3 of them in the top 4. This shows how important it is for Nightmare Esports to stay together as a team so that they can pick those fights. That being said, Todak now starting to realize that team fights might not be the best of idea. They're gonna try to put the Benedetta on the side lanes just to push a little bit more, while Chiku, at this point, I think he's ready for a fight, but like I said, they don't want to group up because that's where Nightmare Esports draft will excel.
There's way too much punishments, but Nanoship will be flickering on in, jumping in, but kick he will get right in the face. Fourmaze chase down the Busy. The Harif goes down, even though Nanoship lays down the suppression, but he is under turret pressure. He will go down. The ultimate will be activated just by the side of Todak just to get the Lord as quickly as possible. You can see how little victories. Todak find these little victories to climb and snap all the way back. Even though they're a little bit of a goal deficit, but you can see how Moi, Momo, and Moon, what a mouthful, but they are that trifecta ward that just doesn't allow Nightmare to step on in. Now Chiku will jump in, Blazing Duet landing all the way there, burn all the flicker and all the dashing skills. Jasmine will get melted by the side of Todak, and now Nightmare Esports, they've got to hold the floor. The Luminous Lord is marching down the top side.
Yeah, I love this coming for Todak, right? This is Todak's comfort zone where they can split Nightmare Esports members all across the map to deal with the split push. That's where Todak will excel. They have a Cho that can put someone out of position, the Way of the Dragon. They have so much burst damage on Fourmaze as well as Chiku that, you know, you put Nightmare Esports heroes against Todak 1v1, I will take Todak's draft any single time of the day.
Another point to take note of is you talk about single one-on-one damage, right? Because Todak, every one of them is this commander, one red beret, single man army that Nightmare Esports could not face. However, this time round, Nightmare Esports will face a little bit of trouble at the bottom side. Chico just standardly pushing the slow for May, send the blood flow in. You can see how Nightmare Esports just giving them a wide berth. They're not the only one to actually deal with that. Todak translated the Lord into potentially two tier 3 turrets. However, Nanoship will be able to drag Moon all the way in. The Death Sonata connects on top of Moon. No more real world manipulation, but the form is jumping in, but he has to jump out. Todak is out of position. They don't really want to give any form of lead back to Nightmare Esports because Shiku is not there and Moon just went down.
Yeah, Todak gonna be freezing away the mid wave as well, so the Nightmare Esports can't come out of the base to farm. They're gonna happily let this mid lane freeze as much as they can. And now so gonna be walking into their own purple buff area just so he can clear Moy out of the vicinity, but it's a little bit too late. The buff has been stolen. Meanwhile, another fight here. Moy avoids getting sniped off, and Nightmare Esports, look at how much ulti they burned there, right? They burned the Divine Judgment, they burned the Zama Force, and they also burned the Death Star.
And that's where Todak decides to strike. You can take a look at the damage coming out from the side of Momo. The kick goes in, will be landing on top of Nanoship. Now, Formase actually joins the fray. Chiku still out of position, I would say. Still actually landing down the damage from afar. That's still okay, but you can take a look at the AoE damage coming out from Todak. Nightmare Esports just doesn't have any answer. They burn way too much ultimates just to pick off Moy. Todak identified it, and they are going go on in. So diving into the backline. Chiku unleashing out, melting down the Mathilda player from Nightmare Esports.
Todak now at the pick of their game. This is the late game they've been waiting for. Forma is now online. Chiku is pretty farmed up. Momo just doing Momo things. And on top of it, they have Moy, which we just saw Nightmare Esports try so hard to bring down to no fruition.
Yeah, Nightmare just burned way too much spells over there. They don't really have any form of utility and tools going into this team fight that Todak actually looked for. Nightmare Esports actually trying to run away, but Todak just grabbed him by the hand, dragged him into my zone.
You can kind of feel the impact of the Barats being marginalized just by the way Todak plays, right? They have perfect wave management. They're freezing out the waves. They're not allowing Nightmare Esports to come in to this huge team fights that Nightmare Esports is looking for. And without that, you know, the Barats can't build his stacks. He's not as tanky as he should be. And then Todak can just slowly pick the members off of Nightmare Esports one by one.
Yeah, Todak is just going to buy some time because the Lord will be popping up in within 10 seconds. Nightmare Esports on guard duty, making sure that these minions would not be able to bash on top of their turrets. You can see how the wave freezing coming out of Todak is true. Nightmare Esports is just playing catch up, right? Just clearing one wave after another. That means that Nightmare Esports is super busy, and immediately after one shove, Todak goes on in alongside Chiku and Formis to work on that lore. I feel like Nightmare Esports sense what's going on, so trying to look for some way to sneak in, but he gets scouted by Moy. Todak finds the lore, and here comes the real world manipulation. BC Summon Force will not be able to save as Moy is trying to looking for the kills. Linux jumping in with Death Sonata will land, but Formis, oh my goodness, he's just wrecking so much havoc. The members of Nightmare Esports is starting to fall. Nanoship coming in will be putting down the Divine Judgment on top of Moon, but Moon still cuts away. It is the turret, it is the core damage that actually takes it down, but Nightmare Esports, they lose two members. The Lord is marching down. Todak still okay. That trade was still okay. It's a 3-for-2 trade, but the fact is Todak has the Lord that's marching down.
Yeah, it's a 3v3 at this point now. Nightmare Esports, you gotta respect the draft, right? Even when they are playing on the back foot, they always have the threat of using the Kaja's ultimate to put someone out of position, whether it's Chiku, whether it's Momo or Moy. That's where Kaja can still come play. Yes, his damage is going to be marginalized. We talked about that as well. The impact will definitely fall off, but the fact that he can put one member of Todak out of commission is still a huge advantage that Nightmare Esports can look at. Meanwhile, Lord getting taken down. Not much turret objective getting taken by Todak here. I might have to bite my tongue there. They get the tier 3 at the top lane. Super Minions getting pushed as well. Momo dragged all the way back to the base, but look at that. Nightmare Esports, they can't take down this slippery assassin. They will settle for Chiku as a consolation prize, but they still lose their purple buff, and they also lose the tier 3 on the top lane.
Yeah, so the single bastion for the side of Nightmare Esports, only that one mid lane. Don't forget, Busy is the most important player for the side of Nightmare Esports. He has to survive at all costs. Whereas Linux as well, his advantage has starts to fall off, and that's where Nanoship as well. He's trying to look for these kills, but Todak Okay, they're still able to hold on this fort. Nightmare Esports, they don't really have the minions that's pushing in. Don't forget, it is super minions that are pushing from both sides. Nightmare Esports has to play guard duty. Todak, they have all the time in the world. This is exactly where they want to be. Ballmates at the bottom side, just bringing any form of traps. If Nightmare Esports overcommits though, Todak will start this quick shove. Now, a lot of utilities will be burned just to catch Momo, but one doesn't chase after that Benedetta, by the way. Formax putting 2 minutes in trying to push him down. Busy coming in, but okay, we'll be able to shove Formax away, but the damage has been done. The members of Nightmare has been pulled all the way back on full retreat. Now Todak will snipe one turret and get the heck out of there. Todak outmaneuvering Nightmare Esports.
Yeah, it's just annoying to deal with Todak's lineup. It feels so tough to bring any single member of Todak down. You gotta rotate around the map. You have to, burn all these huge ultimates just to kill a stealthy assassin in Momo. They fail to do so. They also lose the tier 3 in the mid. This feels like a very, very slow execution coming from Todak.
Yeah, it's like putting Nightmare Esports, right? The member of Nightmare Esports is in an aquarium and you're slowly filling water bit by bit. You know they're gonna drown. The question is, when?
They can do this all day. The longer the game goes, the fatter Formace becomes, and the harder it is for Nightmare Esports to even step up the pace. Look at this. Look at this.
They're just trying to lose weight, just walking around the base, making sure that step counter is super high. It's entering a point of time where Nightmare Esports, right, the goal doesn't really much matter anymore. It all boils down to the positioning now. Todak is just making sure the waves are constantly shoved. It's super minions marching down all 3 sides of Nightmare Esports. They are just very busy right now.
Yeah, they're just freezing the wave at this point, right? Todak, rinse and repeat, will do it until Nightmare Esports crack. And I feel that crack might happen sooner than later, because look at this top lane. Momo already starting to push in. Todak has superb control of the Lord area. They recognize that, Nightmare Esports is going to have to defend it. They spot the Barrage. This is where they can start taking the Lord. And even if they don't choose to go for a Lord, with Barrage being in the top side, they can actually bait a gank.
Yes, because Barra is being sent for ground top side, right? Nightmare Esports. Okay, Formace will be able to find Soso right here. The ultimate coming in, but the suppression is true. Formace went down. The Lord was forgotten. Chico jumping in with the blazing duet. BZ landing down to Zaman Force, but the members of Nightmare Esports will fall. Barat is not there for the defense, but the Chico is still alive. He's still chasing it down. The Detona welcome will not connect. Momo jumps away. Nano ship, he has the immortality. He can hold on, but the members of Toda, they don't really need a Lord. They can just start the push in, ladies and gentlemen. It's just Nano ship that is left alive from the side of Nightmare Esports. 50 seconds on the clock, on the respawn timer. Momo just wasted no mercy in terms of using the ultimate just to wave here. Ladies and gentlemen, the super minions of Todak will start to march in on top of Nightmare Esports. Momo, everyone is whacking on that core of Nightmare Esports, and GG. Todak picked up this series.